Hello, everybody. We're live. We are broadcasting today, Wednesday, May 8th, 20 days till my birthday, 2024. Um, so we are going live today because I was told that I should go live as soon as we had a quarterback on hand. We do. We have quarterback Brendan Sullivan. Uh huh. Okay, um, so here we go. We've talked about Brendan Sullivan on the podcast the other night. By the way, before I get started, I want to thank you guys. The last podcast about the Portal QB situation garnered 457 views. I picked up 7 new subs on that time. And so I'm just going to ask you guys to continue we're up to 296 subs, I believe. First goal to stay at 300, and then we'll talk about the next goal. But we're 4 away. Let's get 4 more subs on there, guys. Let's get 4 more. All right, let's break that 300 barrier. I know you guys can do it. Everybody hit the like button that watches this, please. It helps the algorithm, and I will start to show up on your YouTube feed when you search Iowa Hawkeyes. My videos should come up, and so I'm just asking all you guys to like, comment, share, and share away. Because I don't have every Hawkeye fan in the world cornered, but if you guys can do it, share it to your Facebook groups, your Twitter groups. There's a lot of groups out there that you guys can share this to. So let's get going. Okay, so today Brendan Sullivan, as you guys know, has been visiting Iowa yesterday and today. And today, at the end of his visit, he announced on his Instagram that he was going to be a Hawkeye. And so I think, one of the things I was hoping to have Jason on here because Jason feels like out of the two that we were floating back and forth between General Booty and Sullivan, that he was the better choice. Jason was real happy, felt like we got the better quarterback. I really don't know because we don't know anything about Booty except for what he did in junior college. And, he killed it in his, I think it was just 1 year in junior college, but he killed it there. And so he looked really good. And then he was a preferred walk-on at Oklahoma the next 2 years. And I think we talked about it, but I think he made a grand total of 2 appearances. Only in 1 game last year. That was the first game of the season. So being at the Sooners, I'm going to go along with it. Was probably garbage duty and mop up time, probably the last minute or so of the game. And so anyway, this is a guy who was Brendan Sullivan was a 3-star prep coming out of high school. He's 6 foot 3 inches tall. So that's good because as we know, Kirk Ferentz likes quarterbacks in the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" range. And he's 225 pounds. So he's pretty solid built. So hopefully he doesn't come down as easy getting sacked as our 2 previous, Spencer Petras and Deacon Hill. Our 2 previous quarterbacks seem to get sacked a lot. But anyway, he at Northwestern, he played a total of 13 games, was 134 for 195 for 1,303 yards and 10 touchdowns. Can't go wrong there. And there is a quote I'm going to quote for you guys here in a minute after we get a little bit more. He has 2 seasons of eligibility left. My question is he coming in to compete with Cade for the starting job along with Marco? Or is he just coming in? Is Cade our automatic starter? And is he just coming in to compete with Marco for the number 2 job? Because if that's the case, I can't think of a quicker way to chase Marco away and get him in the portal and get him away from Iowa. If that's what Kirk is trying to do, because I know that there is an upside to Marco. I know that his passing accuracy wasn't all there, but to be fair, you just throw him into a game they're down 31-0 or something, and and he was able to keep drives alive with his feet. So I like Marco's upside because But this Brendan guy, he supposedly can keep drives alive and extend them. So, not Marco, I'm Brendan Sullivan. So that's cool. As you guys know, we lost Joey Labus, who was we were all told all season that he was basically battling injuries and never totally got healthy. If anybody was following Twitter, and I followed his dad, but his dad debunked that and said he'd been healthy. He'd been healthy since the start of the season, so that he really wasn't hurt. So I know that a lot of people were going on Kirk's word and saying he was not healthy last year, Lavis. But my question is, if he wasn't healthy, why did he keep showing up on the depth chart as number 2 quarterback most of the year? Okay, so anyway, we lost Hill. My biggest fear is if we got shut out in the portal. I know I talked to a couple of people. I think a couple of people thought maybe Hill would come back, that Iowa would take him. Well, he's experienced. He's ran our first team before. He knows the plays now, and so let's bring him back. Okay, I was afraid that was going to happen if we didn't get at least one quarterback. And I'm kind of hoping that we get another quarterback in General Booty. I think I would love to have fun with that name, and I think he already now has a commercial out about booty underwear or something. Anyway, he's already got some endorsements. All right, and then of course we lost Tommy Paholski. I was sad to see this one go because he was a walk on, and he probably would have never seen the field at Iowa anyway. And so I don't blame him for leaving, but his dad was quarterback for Hayden Fry back in the days. And I really like it when legacies and siblings come on to play for Iowa. And he was definitely a legacy. Okay. So I don't know if we're battling, if Marco's going to end up battling Sullivan's going to battle for number 2, or if he's going to battle for number 1. And then it's just between Marco and Sullivan who the number 2 is, if he doesn't beat out Cade, But guys, I just don't feel like Cade is gonna. I don't know if he is healthy enough to start the season. I don't believe he'll complete the season, and I don't know how many fans. A lot of fans I've talked to feel like I do. This is the reason why who the number 2 quarterback is so important, because many people don't feel, even if Cade starts the season, that he'll complete it. So that's kind of a bummer right there. Because, it's sad that you got a starting quarterback that we paid a lot of money with and came from Michigan, and who was Michigan's Big Ten champion and took them to the playoffs that year. It's just sad that we can't get what we bought for. We can't get our money's worth out of him. And so hopefully, not that I'm wishing ill will on Cade, because if he can do it and if he can play all year, more power to him, because he's probably our number 1 option anyway. Okay, but back to Brandon Sullivan. His best game last year was against Maryland. They won 33-27. In that game, he threw for 265 yards and two touchdowns. Okay, and so not a bad game. I don't know if we've had a quarterback in a long time that's thrown for 265 yards. We didn't have one do it last year, and I'm not convinced that we had one do it during Petrus's last year. And by the way, congratulations to Spencer for getting the number 1 starting quarterback job at Utah State. I wish him nothing but success there. He deserves it. I mean, the guy puts in the time, he puts in the work, and I don't think all of his issues with Iowa his last season were solely his fault. I think it's a combination of the scheme. I think it's a combination of, at that time, was a very poor O-line that Kirk now admits was a bad O-line, looking back on that film. And even said that about this past year's team with Deacon, that the O-line was not good. And he'd been saying all along, that the O-line was good, and he was proud of what's his name, whoever, I can't remember who's that Barnett guy coaching the O-line, and why is my question would be is, Kirk, it's Kirk's team. He can do what he wants with it. But if you weren't happy with the O-line the last 2 seasons, then why is Barnett, the guy who's coached your O-line the last couple seasons, why is he still your O-line coach? Okay. Anyway, back to Sullivan again. I mean, I'm getting down on these bunny trails. so be it. Anyway, his season for his season last year, Brendan completed 63.6% of his passes for 714 yards. And so he did play against Iowa twice, believe it or not. He lost both times, but in 2022, he was 23 of 30 for 159 yards. And in 2023, he just passed for 81 yards against us. I forgot to write down what his passing was, but both of his as you can see, 23 of 30 is not bad, but 159 yards total was probably means that he wasn't passing for a lot of yards. And the one thing I want to see this year from our quarterbacks, whoever's our quarterbacks, is that when it's 3rd and 18, can we throw the ball farther than 4 yards down the field? But at least complete it, give your receiver a chance to do something and make a play. But yeah, I mean, I think that just seems like the biggest problem we've had on 3rd down this past couple seasons is not throwing the ball past the sticks. I mean, how hard is that? I mean, every team against us on 3rd and 8, even 4th and 2 or something when they go for it, they just put a guy out in the corner 1 yard from the sticks, 1 yard in front of the sticks, and throw the ball to him, make a quick pass to him, and complete it. The guy gets there, nobody covers him because Iowa defenders always give cushions on the receivers for the other team. They always cushion, so it makes an easy pass, and it makes you wonder, why doesn't Iowa receivers ever get any cushion? Why doesn't everybody give a cushion against Iowa? Anyway, so anyway, that's what I had on Brendan Sullivan. I don't have much else for you because we did talk a lot about it. Can we still get General Booty if they want 5 quarterbacks on the roster next year like they did this year? That would be fine. I did not realize, though, that General Booty, I mean, I think people kind of thought they're kind of intrigued with his name. But I did not realize that he was a preferred walk-on for the 2 years he was at Oklahoma. So that explains a lot why he didn't see anything other than 2 to 4 times, I think, total on the field. So is it too much to ask him to come here and be a preferred walk-on? Or do we put him on scholarship? But is he really going to be our number 3 quarterback or number 4 quarterback behind James Rezar? Because, right now, we don't know what the pecking order is. I would say quarterbacks 1, 2, and 3 right now are Cade and Brendan Sullivan and Marco for sure. But until Cade gets healthy, it's Brendan Sullivan and Marco's team, right? They're the ones that are going to be doing the workouts. They're the ones that are going to go out and work out on their own and take receivers with them and run routes. And you can bet your butt that Brendan Sullivan's going to study the playbook and he's going to have those guys run routes. And I mean, if I were him, I'd be having routes. I mean, with Cade, uncertainty surrounding Cade, I certainly wouldn't be afraid if I was both Marco and Brendan Sullivan, and even James when he come in, is grab the receivers and start running routes and, play catch. Let's play catch. Let's get used to these guys. Let's get some, chemistry going between the quarterback and the receivers. That would be nice. I really do think it's nice. Okay, that's all I've got on that one, but I did want to talk real quick about this girl coming or not coming, but Iowa's in the hunt for this Miriam Daada Deon. She's from Arkansas. She's a forward who's 6'4". She's a shot blocker, guys. I guess she had one game last year where she blocked 10 shots. Anyway, she came in with the class of 2021. At that time, she was nation's 13th ranked overall player, best player. Okay. Last year, she had 10.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2.2 block shots, 1.2 assists per game. She shot 45.5% from the field, 31.9 from the three-point line, which is, kind of average. It's not great, but it's not bad either. And 75.6 from the free throw line. And really, I would like to see her get that up to 80, but, what can I say? It's not my place. Okay, Now, everybody thinks that Iowa has got their scholarships all full for the year. There is one guy out there who's saying that Iowa does have an open scholarship. I don't know how, I don't know where, but when you do the math, 15 people get scholarships. All right, okay. Listening to, I think it was Chad Lysico. They were talking about that Iowa can transition someone to a walk-on status, and the Swarm could cover the bill. That it might be it'd have to be somebody from Iowa so that the Swarm wouldn't have to pay as much. I'm trying to think who the seniors are coming up this year and which ones are from Iowa. I know we got AJ Edgar, we got Addie O'Grady, both are seniors. I'm trying to think of who else on the team is going to be a senior this next year. But it would have to be somebody that and it's like they said, they usually want to go after somebody and do somebody who in their last year of eligibility, because it's easier to do that, but also they want to do somebody who's an in-state person. So I think those are the two names that came to mind. There's also the possibility that they could pull. By the way, they can only travel with 15 people, which is, I guess, why Ava Jones didn't travel with the team this year. Hi, Ari. Good to see you, buddy. Why Ava didn't travel with the team. Because I wondered why she wasn't traveling, because when she was at the away game, she was with her mom, not her parents. I'm sorry about that. That's a bad bleep on my part. But she was with her mom and her brothers at the game. So she traveled with them because she didn't miss the games. But another thing is Ava going to is she ever going to be ready to play basketball for the Iowa women? Well, I mean, if you've been following her YouTube videos, she's getting there. She's got a ways to go, but she's come so much further from her first video to her last video. And she's not as diligent as posting them as we go, but she's getting there. Her speech is better. Her shots looking good. And she does these drills that she really puts a lot of pressure on those knees. So the knees look like they're going to hold up. And so, but I keep hoping that Ava will one day get on the court for Iowa basketball. Probably not this year yet, but the other thought I was considering, and I hope they don't do that, was to move Ava Jones to a medical scholarship, which would make she could never play for Iowa again. She could never play for Iowa if they do that. It means she could play, if she got better, she could play for another college. But she'd have to go in the portal and do that. So I'm definitely afraid that they're going to do that. They're going to put her on medical scholarship and tell her she can stay at Iowa as long as she wants that way. But she will no longer be a part of the team. Okay. So that's what my biggest fear is. And then I just want to end this because it meant to be a short video about Brendan Sullivan. And if you guys are joining late, I apologize because we just got done with Brendan Sullivan. But now we're just talking about the possibility of getting this Miriam Dedeud. Okay, I'm bad at pronouncing. I don't know that Iowa has a solid chance with her. I mean, she's in the mix. She's talking to Iowa. But we're going to have to outspend UConn and South Carolina because they are also in the mix and considered the favorites for her. So, but can you imagine what that would do if we could sign this 6'4" block shot blocker and everything? What that would do to our defense and everything? Man, I think season tickets would be sold out again. Of course, the cheers next year, or even that would happen, even if we got them, the cheers next year would be Hannah. It would be all Hannah. This is Hannah's team next year. Even though we got Lucy Olson coming in and hopefully this other girl, Miriam, coming in, that would be fantastic. But yeah, I did want to say that UConn and South Carolina seem to be the early favorites from everything I read. It's going to be hard with them because they're blue bloods, and I'm sure they got more money than we do. So Lisa and Brad Hendricks have a lot of work to do to sit down and see if they can pull this together. Whoever pulled through for Luciosa, maybe they can pull through again. Okay. Oh, in case you haven't heard, Kate Martin is unofficially official. A Las Vegas ace. She made the team. That could change between now and the 13th, because they can still sign a veteran or sign somebody who was cut by another team, and that could affect her status. But right now, Aces are going with 12 people on their roster for this year, and she's one of the 12. So looking forward to watching Kate play some games. And I believe May 27th or 24th, 23rd, somewhere in there, the Aces and the Fever play in Las Vegas. Both the Aces and the Sparks have moved their games to bigger arenas. And so now I'm going to go back online now and see if I can even get tickets. Before, they were way too expensive and pretty much sold out anyway. And so now that they've announced moving to bigger arenas, I think I'm going to go check it out and see if I can still get tickets for those games. And so, yeah. But yeah, honestly, guys, that's about all I got for us today. It's a short one. And I appreciate Ari Gold on there. I don't know who else is on there because there's at least 4 of you right now, and it never tells me who's on there unless you guys comment. So if you guys don't have any comments or questions you want to throw at me, I'm going to sign off here in a second or two, but I'll give you a minute to type up something if you want to type it up, or at least say hi. Come on here and say hi. I'm here. I'm listening. Tell me if you like the show, and or if you don't, and what could be done different. I'm trying to make this a little more positive and upbeat. The last one was kind of a doomy, depressing one, and I intended it to be, but it also is probably my most viewed video today. Hey Calvin, good to see you, buddy. And so, but like I said, 457 views on that last video, guys, and I picked up 7 new subscribers on that video. So I appreciate it. Keep telling your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you like this particular video right now while you're on. All of you. Okay. I appreciate it. And Jason couldn't make it tonight. I invited Jason because he has some good knowledge about his feelings about who would be better between Brendan Sullivan and General Booty, and why he thinks that way. And I thought his expertise in the area and what he knows and what he sees would have been more interesting than what I had to say. I don't really know who would be better. I mean, obviously Brendan has the upside, and Brendan has the experience. He seems to have a little bit more upside. He can extend plays. Oh yeah, I wanted to read you this quote. This came to Chad Lysico, and he sent it out earlier today. That a person on a high-placed source on the staff today said that Brendan Sullivan was tough, smart, can extend plays, and was a good leader. And that was a text that was sent to Chad Lysico today, and he forwarded it on to me today. So I really appreciate that. And so, yeah, other than that, I don't have much else going today, guys. I do appreciate you coming on here. Remember to hit that subscribe button and like and share it. And don't you can put a comment even after I'm done going live, but okay, guys. All right, you guys gonna be silent. That's fine. I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. And tell your friends about it. Share it in your Facebook groups, on your Twitter accounts, in your Instagram groups. Share away and tell everybody that I'm here. I'm here to stay. And I will, whether Jason and Paul join me, I will always be here. At least once or twice a week, depending on the news. But today's news, deemed necessary. And if we end up signing that Merriam, I'll come on and do one of those too. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I will see you next time. Out.